From Hollywood, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's showtime.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis. Wide open telephones on the Tom Leykis Show. Anything goes here, anything at all. At 1-800-5800-TOM. We do this every Friday. Ed on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Ed.
How you doing, big brother?
I'm doing great.
Hey, I got the kids listening to, this guy that's calling in with his girlfriend. What a snibber. You know what I mean? I tell my girls the same thing. All guys want is one thing. Remember the $40 date? You don't pay. I keep telling them all the time, you got to be real careful on what's going on out there.
Especially now that we're in this deep recession we're in. I mean, who can afford to be spending big money on dating? It makes less sense than ever to be spending money on chicks.
Tom, a lot of these people got to be thankful they have a job instead of worrying about Christmas parties.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A bonus? Why would anyone expect a bonus in a year like this?
Tell me about it. That's what I tell my girls. I said, you know what? I was with you guys at Sneaking Peaks in Texas when you were up there, and I got transferred back here to California. Matter of fact, I was in the front row when you guys were up there, you and Dean. And let me tell you, it was the best time of my life. I've been back to California. I've been with you at Camacho's. My brother Bill, he's on the road listening to you right now. But, these people got to realize they got to be thankful they got a job.
That is exactly right. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Jeff on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello,
this is Jeff the Jerk.
Jeff the Jerk. Very nice.
Oh, man. You know something, Tom? I am so grateful that you are on the air right now. I was in a relationship for 2 years when I was only, 22, and I don't know what I was thinking. You know what? I've always been a big fan of common sense. I was been taught common sense since I was a young kid, and I don't know why nobody ever decided to say it's common sense to listen to Tom. I can't believe it, Tom. It's like, where have you been my whole life, And ever since I've been listening to you, it's just been, just common sense after common sense and blessing after blessing, man. I mean, it's just, I dumped my girlfriend, and everybody, ever since I've been listening to you and the way that I express myself nowadays, they just gave me that nickname now. I'm just Jeff the Jerk. They just call me Jeff the Jerk, and surprisingly, oddly enough, I have, more girlfriends now, and I'm having the time of my life now, thanks to you, Tom.
I love that. Very nice.
Oh, put that in your pipe and smoke it, huh? Oh, my goodness, man.
Take that many directions.
It is amazing, Tom. You are just an amazing man. You are just awesome, a real modern-day idol to look up to. And everybody that I know, I always tell them, I hate hearing emotional songs and people whining and crying about this and that. So you know what? If you don't like it, leave. It's that easy. Listen to Tom. Look, write down the radio station number. Put it on your cell phone. Do something, man. Just tattoo it on your forehead if I have to,
Thank you for that, Jeff. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. I got a little problem over here. I've been friends with this girl for about 3 years. Never really done much with her, but then we hooked up. And then we kind of hooked up a couple times that night. And then about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, she told me she's pregnant. And there's no future between us at all. We're just kind of friends. So I have no idea what to do.
What kind of birth control were you using?
Well, she's on the pill, and I wrapped it up.
Really?
Yeah, but then the third time it was pretty late at night, so I didn't wrap it up.
Pal, and how do you know she's on the pill?
She told me she was. I have no real proof.
Haven't I always said to you that you can never believe what they say? Never?
Yeah.
But you believe what she said?
Well, I'm hoping she was, but obviously she probably wasn't.
Right. And, of course, I've also told you use condoms 100% of the time.
Yeah. But then I have no idea what it's like. Say it did happen. Like, I have no idea what do I do, like, what rights do I have, or what can I do from here?
Well, the only thing you have rights to is if she has a baby, you have parental rights.
Well, then, if me and her have nothing to do with each other, like, we're not going to stay friends or anything. If she wants parental rights, what do I do? And if I want to give her parental rights, what can I do?
I have always said, I tell women, first of all, I do not want to have a baby with you under any circumstances. I will not marry you. I don't want to be involved, and I won't be involved. If anyone ever came to me and said they were pregnant and they were not having an abortion, I would say, well, just send an invoice. That's as involved as I'm getting. Whatever I'm legally required to pay, I'll pay it.
That's what I told her, and she said, I want nothing to do with you. Don't talk to me anymore then. So then, I don't know, something maybe like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, something, I know those envelopes can pop in. I just have no idea. That can happen.
That can happen. If I were you, I'd talk to an attorney.
Okay. And then
and by the way, everybody wants to cheap out on that, and I tell them they're stupid, but you really need to talk to an attorney.
Okay. And is there, like, such thing as signing over the paternal rights to it, or?
I'm not an attorney, and that would be a good thing to ask your attorney.
I will do.
Well, one thing you can't sign away is your responsibility to pay child support.
Yeah.
Even if you sign a piece of paper that says that you're not required to pay child support, she can change her mind any time.
Gotcha.
And then get back child support, too.
So it's pretty much from all the times from before.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. Sounds like I'll be calling my attorney then.
Good luck. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Victor on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Tom, I need some investment information here. I know I've heard you talk about mutual funds and dollar cost averaging. And I just came into $50,000 that I want to invest. What's my next step?
Well, the first thing you invested in is paying all your bills.
Okay, those are all paid off.
All right, so you have no debt.
No debt.
Okay, good. Next, do you have an emergency fund in case you get sick or laid off in the next year?
That I don't, no.
Well, that's where your money's going to be invested.
Okay, so once that is done...
But do you know how much that is? I'm talking 12 months of living expenses.
That pretty much takes care of all my $50,000.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right.
I mean, look what's happened to people who've invested. You can't afford to lose that money. You have to have it there in case of emergency.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
All right, Tom. Thank you very much for the information. Can you take me out with a machine gun and a Snoop Dogg?
Yes, I can. Biatch. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Vince on Wide Open Telephones. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Ben. You know, I just started listening to your show, and I think it's great. I really appreciate it. I want to know, do nice guys actually finish last?
Yes.
Oh, man. I'm in a situation where I'm 18, my girlfriend's 24.
Strike one.
I apologize. She lives in California here, and her parents live in South Dakota. Her sister just moved away.
So here comes the girlfriend's going to move in question.
Yes, sir.
Right. And, Vince, what major university are you attending?
I am attending Saddleback College as of right now.
That's not a major university.
No, sir, but I'm working my way up to UCLA.
Well, I'll tell you what. Until if you're graduated from UCLA, you should have any women living in your home.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan.
You need to be focused on your studies. Her problem finding a place to live is not your problem.
Okay. You know, she has a job. She's a really hard worker.
I have no interest in any of that.
Well,
how hard she works is irrelevant.
I'm sorry?
How hard she works is irrelevant.
True.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Do I have to break up with her?
Why do you need a girlfriend?
Why?
Got no game?
No, I got game. It's just I'm sick of it. I mean...
Sick of it? You're 18. How sick of it can you be?
You know, girl after girl, those pretty much 1 week stands, they just aren't for me. I mean...
So fine. So you know what? Don't do girl after girl. Spend more time studying.
Okay. That does sound solid.
But do not be moving in with a woman. That is not the thing to be filling your time with. And you do not need to have a girlfriend. You do not need to have a girlfriend. Girlfriends are demanding. They demand your time. They demand your money. They demand you do things with them that you shouldn't be having time to do.
Right. Well,
why don't we ever go to the movies? Why don't we ever go to dinner? Why you take a night off from all that studying? Come on! You've obviously, son, never lived with a woman.
not yet, sir.
That is what it's like.
Oh. That does not sound fun.
And women want you to stay right where you are. They don't want you to become any more successful than you are today. Do you know why?
Why?
Because their fear is that once you become successful at something, you'll trade them in for a younger, hotter model. Which most guys do.
That's a big possibility for me every day. I'm a magician, so I go out and do a lot of magic for people, and she sees that. I don't know how she feels about it.
Is that what you're studying at Saddleback College?
I'm studying, I'm a theater major.
You're a theater major. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what do you plan to study at UCLA?
Theater.
Theater.
Art.
And what do you plan to be when you grow up, son?
Magician.
How much does that pay, son? Have you looked into that?
You know, I have, and it is off and on. That's why the job that I'm at now, it's a job that I fall back on.
What is that?
I'm working a metal fabrication shop.
Son.
And
hey, did you ever consider going to college to study something a little more reliable, a little more dependable?
That's why I'm going to take welding. Because
we're not talking about welding. We're talking about the kinds of things people study in college.
Such as?
Business.
Well,
have you, I don't know if you read a newspaper. Have you heard about the economy?
Yes, sir.
It sucks.
The economy is pretty horrible.
Yeah. And how many, I would bet that hiring magicians for your kid's party probably is the first thing to cut for the budget. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Well, I do, I've had a lot of gigs in the past, actually.
Yeah, well, the economy was good in the past, too.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the past 6 months.
Uh-huh.
I mean...
How much did those pay?
$150 an hour.
How much have you made the last 6 months from being a magician?
Probably a few thousand, like $2,000 to $3,000.
All right, so you're making $6,000 a year as a magician.
But I also have the job that I'm doing now.
Son, is it just that you have a low IQ or that you're lazy?
Yeah. I don't like to call myself lazy.
I know you don't like to call yourself lazy. But, you know, somebody has to call a spade here.
Sorry, Tom, you're breaking up here.
No, you're breaking up. I sound fine.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm breaking up. All right, well, you know, that's some very good advice, and I thank you for that. And
I know you'll ignore every bit of it.
You know, no, I don't know. I think, no, I will look into it.
What you'll look into not moving in with your girlfriend? You're gonna do some research on that?
No, I was thinking more about the college.
And what about the girlfriend? What about the girlfriend?
Oh, the girlfriend thing. You know, I may take your advice on that. I'm going to talk with her, see how that goes.
You don't, what? This is not up to her.
That's true. That's true.
Well, we'll see if she lets me not move in with her. This is your decision. Are you a man or a mouse?
I'm a man.
It's hard to tell by talking to you.
Tom, 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom, 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
What's up, busy?
The Tom Leykis Show with wide open telephones on this Friday. We have the shortest commercial breaks we've ever had. We take more calls. We take them faster. We're now here 6 days a week. Tune in tomorrow from 2 until 6 p.m. for the Saturday edition of the Tom Leykis Show. Or go to blowmeuptom.com and click on the Listen Live button, and there you'll be. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Henry on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
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 What's up, Hen?
Not much. What's going on?
Nothing much. How you doing?
How you doing?
Second time caller.
Okay.
Long time listener.
Right.
I got this real estate problem, and I had intentions to buy a house for my grandparents, and this guy ran off with money and everything. I'm getting screwed. I don't know. What should I do, Dad?
Wait a minute. Whose house was this?
Well, I went to notary with him. We went to the bank. We signed papers. We opened a bank account. And the whole point of this, he screwed up my business. He screwed up my credit, and he lied to me. But since I had a good heart, my intention was to buy a house under my credit since it was 738. I had a Jaguar. All that stuff is gone. My credit score is 612, but I'm not doing good. I don't have no money.
How did this happen?
Well, for being, I guess, dumb and not non-experienced, I met with these people at the barbershop, and it started off from there. Man, I hope they're not listening, because it's war on the street. He's after me. I'm after him. He says I owe him $10K, and he took a quarter case from me, quarter mil. He opened. Man, he has all the information, and I don't know if I was dumb or I was just had big enough huevos to do stuff like this. From the beginning, I had a feeling this was some BS. I'm getting screwed. But the only thing was that my intention was to purchase, be an owner of a house for my grandparents, for them to move from Europe to here. They're already here. They already bought a house, and it's paid off, and they're living good. So in both ways, whether it's my family or some random people off the street, I'm looking screwed. I'm getting pressure from every direction. I'm being lawsuited because I got this $30,000 loan. And, man, license suspended, car gone, job gone, down to my last penny. And I don't want
to... Yeah?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Now you ask me some questions or direct me, guide me.
Pal, I tell everybody all the time, why do you get involved in something you don't understand?
Well, I did. It's just that he kept telling me good things about it, and he kept.
Well, of course he's doing that. He wants to sell you the house.
Well, tell me I'm stupid.
You're stupid.
Damn.
I mean, whenever somebody wants to sell you something, I don't care who it is. You get an attorney. You get an attorney. You get a real estate attorney. You have them investigate.
Man, I'm lost. I'm done. Finished. Game over.
I tell you all the time, do not invest in something you don't understand. Do not.
It's not that my understanding is to 100%, but I know enough. Maybe he knew more, but obviously I didn't know enough.
Well, he sure knew enough to fool you, didn't he?
Man, yeah, he got me good. So now what?
Well, I've told you what. I mean, you're going to have to lick your wounds, and you're going to have to start from square one in your life.
What about my social? Should I go to social and stop that, or if everything is too late? I know these houses
your
are still
social
under my
what?
name, but he got so much money probably that he covered all this stuff up already. He done backed up good time.
Well, all I can tell you was, if I were you, I would try to clean up that mess.
Well, the question is, how, Tom? See, you're in a different position of life with experience and knowledge and education, and you're looking at me like I'm your son, and you're trying to give me advice, and I really have that. Not that I don't have enough the power that you're talking about. You're trying to tell me do this and do that. And it's like, man, I'm in a bad situation. But man,
I'm not trying to waste your time, but you've been helpful a lot. I'm gonna probably call you again, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give me an AK, give me a bong, give me a Coke, and all of that.
I'm gonna give you, because you can't afford anything else. Here you go.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Joe Rogan has dropped in on this Friday. How's it going?
Thank you, sir. I'm honored to be here. Appreciate you having me on, as always.
What's going on
Tom's
with you?
chilling here.
Yeah.
Got a fat bottle of wine.
Oh, yeah.
Kicking back.
That's right. Holiday season.
I was listening on the way over in the L.A. sludge, enjoying all the advice you're giving to those fine young men out there with girl problems. It's so frustrating talking to, like, the magician dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know no one's talking to him like this. So he's like, it's like he's trying to absorb it. You see, he wants to trust you. He's like, oh, man, really? But I want to be a magician. You know, and you're like, it ain't gonna work. But the girl, she works. Don't live with her. He's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna look into it. You know, it was like, damn, it was just too much. His friends are all retarded. It's like if you're not around smart people and someone smart gives you some information, it's like having a computer but you don't know Windows. You know, like, how does this work? I gotta enter in their keys and numbers. It's like, it's baffling, man. You could get to a late stage in your life before you realize you're an idiot.
It's so funny. It's like, well, I'm going to talk to her tonight and see how she feels. Like, who cares how she feels?
The patterns we get into over and over again. And then you break up with one, you panic. I don't want to be alone. And you get another one quick. I used to do that all the time. Get a girlfriend, and by the time you had a girlfriend, you didn't even know her. And all of a sudden, this chick's over your house every day. Like, I don't even really know you. Like, you had sex with her a couple of times. You've been hanging out with her, and you went to a few movies, and, and she believes in God and some other nonsense. And that's really all you know about each other. You barely even know each other, and you're living together just because you panicked and you needed a girlfriend.
Oh, my God.
I've only had a few stretches in my life where I was completely girlfriend-free, and they're nice. They're very common.
They are.
You need them every now and then. I mean, it's nice having someone around, but it's certainly nice every now and then.
I like having them around when I want them. It's like, I wouldn't want Domino's Pizza delivering to me every hour on the hour. Maybe just now and then. No, maybe, I don't know about Domino's, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, even if it's your best friend in the world, even the dude you love to hang out with the most, if you're around each other all the time, you're going to get on each other's nerves. Mm-hmm. You can't live with a buddy. I lived with a buddy once. It was a disaster. We were like best friends. We moved in together. We hated each other in 6 months. You're just on top of each other all day. It's not a good environment.
No. And these guys just don't understand, And it's what's so funny is so often they don't make the decision themselves. Like, they don't say, gee, I'd like to live with my girlfriend. It's always the same story. Well, her parents moved back to South Dakota, and she has no place to live. And so we're going to talk about it tonight. Like, the decision's already been made. The die has already been cast. This guy had no part in making that decision.
It. But you know what? Those mistakes are good. Those are good. Screw up. Get in there. Get dirty. Skid your knees up a little bit, buddy. It's good for you. It's good for you to get it wrong, so that when you finally get it right, you're like, oh, okay. You just got to find somebody nice and be cool and just doesn't give you a hard time, and you like them and they like you, and they don't have any idea of changing you. Yeah, that's when it's brutal, when they try to mold you into something.
So I did not know you have a new TV show coming.
Yeah, I did a new show for CBS. It's going to be starts January 3rd. It's called Game Show in My Head. It's a comedy game show where they have these hidden cameras, and these people wearing earpieces, and we send them out. They have no idea what they're going to do. And there's hidden cameras around them, and they just have to grab civilians and pull off these tasks. Like one of them, a chick had to find a guy and convince her that her groom had disappeared. Her family had flown all the way across the country. She had to find a guy who would marry her on the spot, like right then and there. And if you do it, like whatever the things they do, they get like $5,000.
Wow.
And some just cringe-inducing stuff. Like you can't. Like one lady had to get this woman to speak at her grandfather's funeral, And the grandfather, you know, it was fake, and there was an audience full of actors, but she didn't know this. And she's just a lady hanging out in the park. And this chick grabs her and says, could you just please get up there and pretend that you're, you know, Aunt May from Alaska? No one knows what she looks like, but they'd all be really upset if she didn't make it. So she just gets suckered into this, and she gets up there, and not only does she get up there and have to say that she knew the grandfather and tell a personal story about him, then she has to say that there's another woman in the audience, and she has to introduce this woman and say, this is the woman that the grandfather was having an affair with. This is a total stranger. And then she has to say that this woman that the grandfather was having an affair with is going to get all the money in the will. And if this woman can talk this total stranger into saying this in front of a bunch of people who she thinks are mourning this dead guy, she wins like $40,000.
And that's interesting.
It's pretty awesome.
You know,
she talked to her for like 45 minutes, like slowly dragged her in. It was just like, oh my God.
I think this is really interesting because, you know, like for years, the only game show in prime time was like, you know, Price is Right 175th anniversary or whatever. And now you're seeing game shows. I think CBS has Password also, right?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. And of course,
Password?
Deal or No Deal's huge on NBC. You know, yeah, I think, you know, people just like to be entertained. It doesn't really necessarily have to have a label. I think it's interesting that they're going to do that Jay Leno thing at 10 o'clock on, you know, on Monday through Friday now, like a strip, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to all the dramas that they had? And it's like, they just like, you know, this is a crazy time. Let's try
People
something
stop
different.
watching dramas. That's what happened. And, you know, what's interesting about that is, of course, I heard that NBC is going to save $100 million a year not producing ER and all the other shows they have at 10 o'clock, all the dramas. So producing Jay Leno at 10 o'clock will save them $100 million a year.
Oh my God.
Which means even if it isn't #1 of the ratings at its time slot, they're going to be making money, and the other networks may not be making money. And that's really now, in this environment, that's all people care about is making a profit on what they're doing. They don't care about the ratings anymore.
Does this economy freak you out as much as it freaks me out?
Oh, of course it does. It's the worst I've ever seen.
Ever in life.
Yeah.
It's almost like everyone's biggest nightmare. You know, like the idea that it could all implode. Because we all knew that it was kind of based on confidence, and, you know, the stock market is kind of a nonsense thing. I mean, it's like you're selling confidence, you know, and it just, at a certain point in time, man.
Well, look at this Madoff guy. I mean, all these people,
amazing.
right? I mean, all these people who should know more than we do. This is not the average grandmother.
No, well, that Madoff guy, everyone wanted to be in his fund. There was all these, like, big-name guys from all these other gigantic corporations that wanted to be a part of this guy's fund.
All of them have hundreds of millions of dollars, and in many cases, he would say to them, I don't just want a piece of your net worth, I want the whole thing.
God.
So there are people who potentially lost every penny they ever earned.
And they did it because this guy was getting them unbelievable returns.
Well, he was getting the first few people unbable returns. And you know how
and he showed it on paper. Yeah. That's amazing, though, that's what he was doing. I mean, this guy was the head of NASDAQ, right?
He was one of the founders of NASDAQ.
God, it's crazy. They're just criminals. We're on a pirate ship, man. It's like that movie They Live with the John Carpenter movie with Roddy Piper, where he has glasses where you can see the aliens. It's like, God, finally we're just seeing this is all falling apart. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm moving to the mountains, man. I'm getting guns and a well.
I was telling you about my other place.
Yeah.
I'm looking at guns myself. I got rattlesnakes up there and tarantulas, and I got wild pigs on my property.
Wild pigs?
Wild pigs.
Wild pigs are dangerous, man.
Well, they tear up, you know, all your property.
They're really aggressive. You know, pigs are the only animal, or one of the only animals, that morphs. Like when it goes into the wild, it's a very different animal. When you have a domestic pig, they look pink and white and normal. They can be feral, they can be wild for only 3 weeks, and their body starts to change. Their tusks grow longer, their hair grows darker and shaggy, and they start looking like boars. Like they physically morph. I mean, how weird is that, man? That's a dangerous animal. Shoot them and eat them.
Well, you know, somebody up on my ranch, you know, there's like a bunch of people who have these 20-acre parcels up where I live. Somebody shot a pig. They finally got fed up.
Right.
Took the gun out, shot the pig. But this is the big cause celeb now up where my place is. The pig didn't die right away. Instead, he left the person's property and went and died on someone else's property.
Well, they always run. If you ever watch hunting shows on ESPN, and I do at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, they always run, then they have to find the blood trail and follow them, you know?
Right. But, of course, when the pig died, it smelled, well, like a pig.
And he didn't clean it up?
The neighbor, well,
He just shot it. He was just shooting it.
Shot it, and the pig ran away.
Oh.
He thought if he shot the pig on his own property, this wouldn't be a problem. But the pig lived, and the pig ran off. And so now everybody's freaking out that somebody's going to be shooting pigs, and the pigs will die on their property, and it'll smell like that.
Well, it's also, if you're going to shoot a pig, you should eat it. I mean, if you are a meat eater, it's an excellent source of food. It's actually better for you than, if it's a boar especially, it's better for you than store-bought, hormone-filled stuff. Shoot it. Eat it.
Eat it.
Don't let it die on someone's lawn. That's a douchebag move. And if if you're going to shoot an animal, you make sure you're killing that thing. I think that hunting is far less cruel than buying food from a store, if you look at it realistically. These like deer, they live their whole life, like, naturally, like how they're supposed to be, how nature intended. They're running around, gathering up, whatever they eat, acorns or whatever, and then boom, they get hit with a bullet out of nowhere. They don't even see it coming, and they're dead 15 seconds later. That's gotta be better than being a cow. Right? It's got to be better than being a veal, but people have a problem with it, As long as you're going to shoot the pig, eat it.
We're talking to Joe Rogan, who'll be performing at the Hollywood Improv.
It's like I've got a hunting show on TV now. I'm really becoming a survivalist, man. I'm panicking. Yeah, no, Hollywood Improv New Year's Eve.
Hollywood Improv New Year's Eve? Are you bringing a gun?
No. Just
You wearing camouflage?
I might be bringing a joint. I'm wearing camouflage. I try to wear camo as much as possible, just in case anything goes down in the middle of the day when you're shopping on Melrose. You can always duck in the, figure out assess the situation.
Joe Rogan at the Hollywood Improv on New Year's Eve. And if you want to make reservations to see him, it's 323-651-2583. We'll take some phone calls coming up for Joe Rogan.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show from Hollywood at 1-800-5800-TOM. Joe Rogan is here.
Holla.
Look at this.
Levi Johnston.
Levi Johnston's mom arrested on drug charges.
Yeah, she was selling meth. Or she had meth, and was she selling it, or she had a gang of it, right? She was stockpiling it because it's cold out. She didn't want to have to go meet the meth dealer.
Oh, my. What a fine young
150 degrees below zero up there.
Oh, my goodness.
Alaska's awesome. It's like it really shouldn't even be a part of America. It's like a frozen Puerto Rico. It's ridiculous.
We had the misfortune.
It's not even connected.
We had the misfortune of spending a couple of months in Alaska when I was on trial. I was sued by a listener.
Oh, that's right.
And we had to live up there for 2 months of the wintertime.
God.
And a bigger collection of misfits and losers you will never see in your entire life.
Well, yeah, a lot of them just crazy. They just need to get away.
We met a woman with
get away.
We met a woman with a full beard. I'm not kidding.
Really?
You saw that. Yes.
Did you take pictures?
No.
How could you not take pictures of that in this day and age?
We were doing our show at the local NPR affiliate.
Right.
And, of course, they had, some women who looked like they had a little more testosterone than other women.
I guess you would just develop it out there. You're living like pioneer style. You ever look at those old black and white photos of the pioneer, like the covered wagon days? Those women look hard, bro.
Oh,
they
yeah?
looked hard. They look like MMA chicks. They look like they've been fighting all day, and they only lived to be like 30. They're sinewy, hard women. They weren't like chicks of today. Paris Hilton wouldn't live like 3 days in the pioneer times. You had to do like real stuff back then. Skin animals and fire guns and dig holes and chop wood. It's a brutal life, man.
Kind of like Alaska today.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed much. Did you see the video online of Sarah Palin? She was doing a press conference, and behind her there was turkeys being slaughtered. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Hilarious YouTube clip. That daffy bitch is just standing there oblivious with a cup of coffee. Oh, yeah, economy, Alaska. Saying a bunch of key words. And behind her, they're just slaughtering these turkeys. Like, really, like, gory. Like, blood splattering all over the place, and their little feet are moving. You can watch it on YouTube, man. Anybody who's listening, just go find it on YouTube. Sarah Palin, turkeys killing. And then see there's another video, I don't think it's on YouTube, of the dude who sits on the jar. He puts the jar into his nether regions, and it breaks. Oh, it's a classic.
I didn't see that.
I think it's like oneguyOnecup.com or something like that. How did we get on this? We go from Levi Johnston's mom selling drugs in Alaska.
Yeah, exactly. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Let's take some calls here. Dan on the Tom Leykis Show. We're here with Joe Rogan. Hello.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
What's up, dude?
Hey, Joe, I was on the Eugene. I saw a good thread, man. They're talking about you.
Oh, yeah, the UG's awesome. He's talking about mixedmartialarts.com. There's a forum that I post on all the time. It's just an awesome website. Really cool.
By the way, thanks for posting on there, man. It's really cool.
It's a fun website, man. It's really cool. It's all MMA fans, all dudes who love the UFC. And then the OG is like the best source of effed up information in the world. There's an underground forum. Like yeah, it's awesome. It's like anything that happens, anytime some senator is caught trying to bathroom, bam, it's on that website, like instantly. Anytime anything goes wrong, instantly. It's a good place for information.
Dan, thank you. Danny on the Tom Leykis Show for Joe Rogan. Hello.
Joey.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Where's Joey D?
Joey D is, I got business to take care of. I can't be here with you people all day holding your hand. Joey's blowing up. He's got like meetings and commercial stuff. He's doing a bunch of stuff. He's always got something happening.
Hey, Joe Rogan, did you see the National Geographic special?
Yeah, the one on weed?
Yeah, the marijuana.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, man. It's, that's another thing that could help the economy. All these people that are selling cars and stuff like that, just start selling weed, all right? Let's just do this. Let's just finally use weed as a commodity, because that's what it was for thousands of years. Before they invented, these marijuana tax acts, cannabis was like a crop. It was a crop not just to smoke it to get high, but to make paper out of it. It makes a superior paper. It makes superior clothing. It makes oil. You can heat your house with it. Like, it's crazy how many different things cannabis, the plant, does. And that's why it was made illegal. It was made illegal they conspired to do it to the guys who owned paper mills at the time. It was William Randolph Hearst. He got together with Harry Anslinger, and they decided to demonize cannabis by going after the psychoactive properties of the plant. So what they did is they changed the name of it to marijuana. And what marijuana originally meant was, marijuana was the name of pot. It was the name of a wild Mexican tobacco. So they started calling it marijuana just to distinguish it so that people there was no way they would outlaw cannabis. It was an important crop. So they had to say it was marijuana that was making blacks and Mexicans rape white women. That's how they passed it through. And then they made Reefer Madness and all those movies, and everyone, get it off the street. They didn't even know that they were making hemp illegal. It's nonsense. It can help so many people.
Jeff on the Tom Leykis Show for Joe Rogan.
It's good for your head.
Hello.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Okay.
All right. I love your show, and Mr. Rogan,
what's up, dude?
Man.
Thank you, sir. What's going on, man?
I got a question. I want to. I'm thinking about doing an open mic night. I got some material, but how do I know? Like, there's not some comedian on the East Coast who has, material similar to mine, and people look at me like I'm stealing stuff.
Well, that is possible, and especially when you start out open mic nights, like in the early days, we all have like real similar premises. Like, that's one thing. As you become like a more polished stand-up or a professional stand-up, you eventually have your own sort of point of view on things, and you have your own very distinct act. But in the beginning, like, a lot of guys talk about the same subjects because you're just trying to kind of figure out something that people are going to think is funny. I was like, you're just trying to make people laugh. And then after a while, then you start doing things that you actually think are funny. But it takes a long time to learn, like, the intangible language. I wouldn't worry about it. I would say that I'll just try to be as original as you can. That's the best advice I can give you. And, you're going to have premises that other people come up with, too. It's just normal.
All right. How'd you get started?
I just got started the same way. Did open mic nights. I started out at Stitches Comedy Club in Boston back in August 27th, 1988, because I'm old. I'm like dirt, dude. But it's it's a long and bloody process, man. It's very disheartening. There's a lot of times you feel like there's no money in this. I'm broke. I'm a loser. I'm doing a gig in Chicopee, Massachusetts to, 5 people who couldn't care less who's on stage talking. But you got to do all that. You got to go through all that. And if you want to be a comic, it's the greatest life in the world. It's the greatest job. You make people laugh. You make them feel better. And you do it with your thoughts. It makes you a more introspective, more observant person. It's as long as you treat it in a healthy way, it's an awesome art form.
Tony, you're on with Joe Rogan. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tony.
How's it going?
Great.
I had a comment on what you and Joe were talking about earlier about that deer going out and killing them in the woods.
Right.
I think it's an excellent idea. Most recently they had a proposition passed about caging animals and giving them more rights and whatnot. I don't think it gets more free range than that, huh?
Yeah, that's really the way you're supposed to have animals. You're supposed to hunt them. You're not really, so I mean, the whole idea of agriculture, we just got lazy. We wanted it to be real convenient. We'd keep those suckers all in a caged area, and then when I want one, I just go grab them and kill them. I mean, that idea is really unnatural, you know? And we've created, like, literally whole species of animals that are completely different from their wild animals, you know? It's weird.
I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that just don't want to pull that trigger, man. Don't want to look at Bambi and ice him.
Tony on the Tom Leykis show for Joe Rogan. Hello.
But they love me.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Can you guys hear me out there?
What's up, dude?
No, dude, no one's mentioned it yet, but the amazing fight card going on next week, man. Rashad Evans, Forrest Griffin, Rampage, Silva.
Yeah, it's a crazy fight card, man.
It's going to be... Are you calling that or what?
Yeah, I'm going to be there, definitely. That's December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. UFC that's going to be the nuttiest card ever. It's the ultimate. They do one card every year where they have like 3 title fights, and this is the one. So it's Forrest Griffin versus Rashad Evans. That's a crazy fight, man. It's an awesome fight. Both guys that won the Ultimate Fighter. Rashad won as a heavyweight, Forrest won as a light heavyweight, and Forrest has got the title now. That's going to be sick. And then, of course, Vanderlei versus Rampage, too. That's going to be incredible. And Frank Mir Nogueira. It's awesome. It's going to be an awesome card.
Thanks a lot.
I got a lot of stuff going on.
Good to see you again.
Dude, always good. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Joe Rogan. See him at the Hollywood Improv on New Year's Eve. Call 323-651-2583. His new show is called Game Show in My Head. It premieres January 3rd on CBS. Joe Rogan. Our email address, tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.